Okay, so I'm here to talk to you about private marketplaces and private exchanges. Just a little note on us, we're an ad tech company specializing in digital out-of-home, been in the space for about 13 years. So what in essence I'm going to speak to you today about is really about one word, automation. And when I say automation, I mean automation between media buyers and media sellers. We're going to look at what's happening in the online world. We're going to learn lessons from the online world, and we're going to apply it to digital out-of-home. Now, a lot of you know that programmatic and automation have some negative connotations. Remnant, driving down our CPMs, RTB. These are bad words for the media owner. Also, what I'm going to show you today has happened before in many different verticals. The concept of starting off with something that is remnant or glut or garbage and turning it into something premium and automating that has happened before in many different industries. If we go back to the way the stocks were traded on the New York stock floor, people used to scream at each other, coming apart at the seams of their shirts, trying to find buyers and sellers on the floor. And this all became electronically traded and is today. In fact, the very first electronic stock exchange was for the penny stocks. Remnant, penny stocks, becoming premium. Get it? Same thing's happening to our industry. In fact, almost all electronic trading today happens, even for premium stocks, electronically. Apple stock as well. So this has happened before with many different verticals. I've explained how it's happened with the financial services sector. It's also happened in the travel industry. American Airlines had a software effort called Sabre within American Airlines, selling unsold seats, remnant. Get it? And what they did is they spun it off. And today, it's become the automatic booking platform for the engine of Travelocity. And today you can buy and book premium hotels like the Four Seasons off of this automatic platform. Same thing happened in retail. When eBay first started out, it meant to replace your garage sale, selling basically stuff that you had, turntables, old cassettes. Today, with eBay Motors and Buy It Now, premium products, there's one car sold every single minute on eBay. And this is what we want to do for digital out-of-home. I'm not here to tell you today, let's auction off all of our inventory. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the industry has already started going down that path. And for place-based advertising, there's a ton of inventory that's been happening. But I think where it's headed towards is automating premium guaranteed inventory. So just a second about programmatic. For me, programmatic is the Internet of Things meets ad buying and selling. That's really all programmatic means to me. Now, if you want to get a little more detailed, you have to make some unfortunate definitions, which can be technical. We'll keep it sort of pretty straightforward. You've got supply-side platforms, demand-side platforms, and ad exchanges. So what's a supply-side platform? A supply-side platform is software used by media sellers to sell impressions in an automated way while selfishly maximizing your occupancy rate and optimizing your inventory. Companies like the Rubicon Project are leaders when it comes to being a supply-side platform for the online space. With 125 million in annual revenue and 1.3 trillion of inventory impressions daily, 100 billion plus bid requests a day, and all these transactions happen in 80 milliseconds. A demand-side platform is used by the media buyer to buy impressions in an automated way. And demand-side platforms can connect to multiple ad exchanges. Common DSPs in the online industry include MediaMath, where the buyer can log in and peruse and browse what impressions and packages of impressions have been made available to them from different publishers. So what's an ad exchange? Just the final definition, I promise. It's basically also software that enables buying and selling impressions through real-time auctions. Now, RTB exchanges and real-time bidding has some serious math. Just Google RTB exchange publications. You'll find tons of mathematicians that are deep into auction theory, that going into the optimization of coming up with optimal auctions and so forth. And one of the leaders in our space, in the online space I should say, is AppNexus, with 250 million of annual revenue. That process 150 terabytes of storage per day with 5 billion requests per second. And with AppNexus, the supplier, the media owner, the publisher can log in and look at their performance of their exchanges and their auctions, I should say, and see how well they are performing. Now, I said that was my last definition. There is one more, but this time I'll give you an example. Real-time bidding. Let's have a quick look at how real-time bidding works in the online or app space, which is a little more modern. Look at the BMW X4 ad. Let's figure out how the New York Times serves this ad to the end user, the consumer who's using the app. So the advertisers, like BMW, have banners, and they submit these banners to a demand-side platform such as MediaMath. Similarly, you've also got Mercedes that's also competing as well for the same impressions. And so they bid on CPMs, and that's on the demand side. On the supply side, what you've got at the consumer who's browsing the New York Times, and the New York Times is using a supply-side platform like the Rubicon Project, which then talks to an ad exchange and says, hey, I've got this spot available on the bottom of the app. The ad exchange then goes to the DSP, figures out who, the ad exchange is all the math of figuring out who the winning bidder is, and then it serves the ad back to the actual consumer. So is programmatic just real-time bidding? It's not. And so to answer what is programmatic, you got to go to the source, and the source is the Internet Advertising Bureau. It consists of Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Microsoft, everybody you can imagine. The IAB has a digital out-of-home task force. We're part of that task force. There's a lot of great companies that are part of this task force, and we're making sure that as programmatic becomes important for digital out-of-home, that we're consistent with what's happening in the online space, so we can intentionally blur the lines between online spend and digital out-of-home spend. Now, at the core of understanding programmatic, you really need to understand, if there's one takeaway from today, is understanding the different marketplaces. The IAB has standards. Now, I normally never put this much text on a slide for those of you who know me, but this is an excerpt from their programmatic guidebook. There are 4 different marketplaces defined by the types of transactions. You've got the automated guaranteed marketplace, where the type of inventory is reserved. You're getting it no matter what if you buy from an automatic guaranteed marketplace. And the pricing's fixed, so it's eBay's buy it now. And it's one-to-one. Other terms used in the market are words for this, such as programmatic guaranteed, programmatic premium, programmatic direct, programmatic reserve, all mean the same thing. The other type of marketplace is the unreserved fixed rate, where basically you're getting a non-guaranteed set of impressions at a fixed price. This is also called the deals marketplace. It's my personal favorite. You also have an invitation-only auction. And this is a private marketplace with a private auction. You also have an open auction. The open auction is what we refer to as RTB. That makes everybody nervous about driving down your CPMs. And I'm going to contrast the differences of private versus public and explain why I think that private marketplaces and private exchanges are great for media owners. They have with full control. So again, this is taken straight out of the IAB's sort of diagram in that paper. Automated guaranteed is one marketplace, unreserved fixed rate, open auction, and invitation-only auction. The x-axis is the type of inventory, and the y-axis is the pricing model. Now, private versus public, what's the difference? What are the pros? What are the cons? Well, it's kind of like a party. If you have a private party, you're going to have sophisticated people that are going to dine and have great manners, say thank you at the end of the night, and play by the rules and have a good time. If you have a public party, it's chaos. There are no rules. Anything can happen. And it's the same thing for exchanges and marketplaces. So let's contrast public versus private marketplaces. As we shared, public marketplaces and private marketplaces are very different. Select invitation, yes for private marketplace, no for public. Lose control of your CPMs, yes, public marketplace. But you will not lose control of your CPMs in a private marketplace. Brand visibility. When the media buyer buys from a public marketplace, they have no clue which media owner they're buying from. To them, it's just a set of impressions. You don't like that as the media owner. You want your brand visible. Premium inventory, not going to happen in a public marketplace because it means that media owners are going to have to side-by-side disclose what they're charging for a CPM next to their competitor. Access to multiple exchanges and DSPs is probably the biggest reason why you would want to be part of a public marketplace, in my opinion, the only one, because if you're part of a public marketplace, you can use any demand-side platform of your choice to connect into the exchange. And for auctions, you have a ton more control on the private marketplace, which I'll show you in a second. So how fast is premium guaranteed growing now that you understand what premium guaranteed is? Well, eMarketer says whether through automated guarantees, private marketplaces, or preferred deals, programmatic is one of the fastest growing share of online advertising. In the US, programmatic advertising will top $20 billion by 2016. $20 billion, US programmatic. The US is $7 billion at a home, period. 42% will be bought and sold through programmatic direct. Now, let's look at some numbers. In 2013, $113 billion was spent on digital advertising. Digital means everything, Facebook, Google, et cetera, digital out of home. Of that, $47 billion went to search, which is Google. $67 billion went to non-search. $7 billion can be sucked out of there into Facebook, social, and $60 billion non-search, non-social. Breaking that out, again, $48 billion is direct, and $12 billion was programmatic. Within the programmatic, $5 billion was RTB, and $7 billion was non-RTB. In 2017, where's this going to go? These are Magna's numbers, by the way. $177 billion for digital altogether. That's going to grow a lot. $57 billion paid search. That's going to be Google. $118 billion for non-search. Splitting that up, Facebook's going to go to 13. $105 for non-search, non-social. Splitting that out, $73 billion for direct, manual, Scotch, baseball tickets type sales. $32 billion is going to be programmatic. And if you split that out, $11 billion are RTB and $21 billion RTB. Now, I don't think this tells the whole story. If you listen to what the CEO of AppNexus, one of the leading programmatic companies in the United States, says, that $73 billion actually can be split out even more. And this is what experts are saying, is that direct is also going to be split out through premium guaranteed, automating the existing direct sales force. Does this mean that salespeople are going to be cannibalized? Partially. It does. Partially. $8 billion is going to go to the deals marketplace. Now, we need to talk about ad serving. It's a key element to understanding how the whole programmatic stack. And at Ayuda, we've developed our own ad serving platform called Nirvana. And to understand Nirvana, you need to understand that at the heart, an optimization algorithm. And that algorithm is basically called Cerebro. I apologize for the names. I know we have too many names. We'll work on that. But at the end of the day, Cerebro accepts multiple inputs. It's a function. It's a mathematical function, such as TAB, at-home ratings, or route, budget, quantity, start date, end date, geography, and it outputs an optimal campaign. And Nirvana is essentially keep continually running Cerebro over and over and over to figure out where we should shift the creative while the campaign is running in real time. Moving away from playlists and spots and loops and moving completely towards a proper ad serving model in real time. Now, we all know online the way that marketers target you is through cookies and your browser cookie trail. How do we behaviorally target consumers on the move? Now, you've got organizations like TAB and Nielsen, but we don't think that's where the answer lies. Those are just big guesstimates. We think the answer lies in treating this as a big data problem and actually parsing specific data sources such as cellular data, social data, and treating those as outdoor cookies and putting a layer of data science on top of this. At Ayuda, our company, we've set up multiple Hadoop clusters to be able to analyze a lot of the cellular data, and we're building data science layer on top of that to build geofences of live demographics to understand, in this point in time, where is 18 to 35, male, affluent, and we will serve the ad to the billboard within that geofence for the advertiser. So geotemporal analysis is something we're thinking heavily about. We think that digital signage companies that are not buying data and incorporating data into their platform are making a big mistake. This is a key competitive differentiator, is the acquisition of data and data science into your platform. Here's an example of a geotemporal analysis of a heat map showing visa spending in Barcelona between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Transactions by locals are in purple, transactions by visitors is in blue. This is what we mean by geotemporal analysis and serving ads to the hottest spots in the heat map. So what we do for geotemporal analysis, we take raw cellular data, we build heat maps, and then from there, we build geofences. And these are real-time geofences. And when we need to serve the ad, we're selling an audience, and we can serve the ad into the appropriate geofence. In that regard, and this is the final acronym, we've become a true data management platform. And this is every intention of where Ayuda is headed towards in the next couple of years. So which digital out-of-home networks are actually thinking about targeting and ad serving? There's a few. Link NYC, which is co-owned by Titan, the Control Group, Comark, and Qualcomm, is going to be blanketing New York City with 10,000 beautiful screens, double-sided, Android-based screens. This is all going to be ad serving. They're not going to sell spots and loops. How can they, 10,000 screens? This is going to be with beacons and understanding cellular patterns so they can serve ads. Another company that we work very, very closely with is Stror. Stror is actually doing this also with experimenting with multi-screen. Stror owns a bunch of online websites, and they want to understand how their ad server can not just serve ads to their station video or the train stations or the malls, they also understand how they can serve ads also to the screen on the phone. So what we've done in the last year and a half, we've done a lot of engineering to our platform to programmatically enable it. So we have evolved from an ERP plus signage platform into a true supply-side platform that enables private marketplaces for our clients, that enables private exchanges. Let me give you a quick demonstration. How am I doing on time? Plenty of time. Okay. So let's go to Splash, which is Ayuda's supply-side platform. Now what I'm going to do here is, remember, I work for a media company, and I want to set up impressions and packages of impressions so that they can be made available on a private marketplace. So I'm going to call this 1 million, this package, 1 million affluent daily mail impressions. I'll say young mail. Description, that doesn't matter. Now start and end dates, this is when the ad serving will start. So let's assume we're going to start the ad serving way out in the future for 1 month. And let's go ahead and choose specific markets. So I'm going to choose, say, New York. There's all this good data to show in New York. And for demographics, I'm going to go ahead and choose digital kiosks. So again, I am taking my digital kiosk inventory for the month of July, and I'm choosing to carve some of it out and make it available to be bought programmatically. Now here I can choose specific demographics, adults by age, and also gender, and household income. If I start checking off different demographics, you'll notice the actual heat map. Now this is because of first-party data analysis that we have of our own. We can ingest from media companies as well. But this helps us understand all the different patterns and where the ads will be served. Again, we're setting up our impression. We can actually browse over time as well and see how this evolves over time. Now, I guess I want to do mail here. Now what I'll do is I'll choose the marketplaces. This is the payload right now. So I have 4 different marketplaces. You understand what they are now because we went through the IAB primer together. Premium Guaranteed Marketplace. Premium Guaranteed Marketplace is like eBay's buy it now. So you want to sell this programmatically online without a salesperson, put it onto your own little Amazon shopping cart store. So it's available to be sold starting up, let's say May 19, today. And we'll make it available to be sold for until June 4th, for example. And this is, I want 1 million impressions. It tells me I have 1 million impressions available at the very bottom because based on the demographics I chose. And the rate card, let's look at what the actual monthly rate is according to my own inventory. It's $17 a CPM. But you know what? Because it's being bought online without a salesperson, I'm going to drop this to $16 a CPM. And I can publish this to the Premium Guaranteed Marketplace so that the client can buy from it. The other marketplace is the Deals Marketplace. Now, I'm going to make this deal available today. You know how the Gap has buy 3, get the 4th khaki free? That's what we're going to do right now for impressions. So the Deals Marketplace is I'll make this available for 3 days only. And 1 million impressions. And I can see here, I'm going to give a 25% discount if the person buys twice as many impressions. What that does is it changes the CPM to $13.75. And the total deal rate is now $27,500 as opposed to being twice the actual amount. We also have a performance-based marketplace, and this is pay per look, which I won't get into too much, but you can set up, for example, a rate card that is based on how long people look at it. 3 seconds, this we can use Quivity's technology to be able to understand this. So from 0 to 3 seconds, charge 20 cents per look, 0 to 6 seconds, an additional 5 cents, and so forth. But the auction one is really, I think, an exciting one because it's a private auction. And so here, let's set up this auction to be available starting in June, because we know our occupancy rate's not going to be that great in June. We have some insight into that. And let's make this auction available for 10 days only. Now, I only want to publish this auction if my occupancy rate is less than 50%, but don't publish it if my occupancy rate goes above 55%. Media owners' occupancy rates in our industry are terrible. You can use marketplaces to help your occupancy. Take the inventory that you know you might be able to sell online, and you make the decision what goes on there. You set the rates, you set the floors. Now, this is an auction, so we have a hard floor price of $11, and what we'll do is we'll put a soft floor price of $13. What's a hard floor price? eBay's reserve. I will not let this auction happen unless $11 is met. What's the soft floor price? It's when it turns into a Dutch auction. This is ripped off directly off of Google's DoubleClick Bid Manager. This is how RTB happens in online, word for word. The idea behind a second price, a soft floor price, is that when that price is triggered, a second price auction starts. Called a Dutch auction, also a Vicaray auction. And what happens there is that if bidder A bids $14 a CPM, bidder B bids 15, and bidder C bids 16, well, bidder C wins, but he pays bidder B's price. It's a sealed bid envelope. And that helps you stay around the soft floor price rather than driving it right down to the hard floor price. So now, as the media owner, again, I can look at the performance of my different marketplaces. And I can see in here in this example that my direct sales force is responsible for the red, which is about 50% of my sales. But because I've added programmatic marketplaces, now I can see how I've increased my occupancy rate. The green is the deals marketplace, the purple is the auction-based marketplace, and the yellow is performance-based marketplace. I can look at how all the different marketplaces fare over time. We have dates as well, so you can choose your specific dates. You can also look at your CPMs and see how this has impacted your overall CPMs to make sure that your CPMs are not going into a territory that you're not comfortable with. And you can look at the actual individual packages that you've made available. This is an example of a premium guaranteed package that we made available for $12 a CPM. And finally, I can look at the performance of my ad exchange. This is for auctions. Ad exchange equals auction. So what I can do here, let me go back over, let's say, the last 3 months, and I can see what my current auctions are, what the bidders are, who the bidders are. I can look at my yield curve. This is standard sort of stuff when you look at auction theory online and RTB. The yield curves tell you if you're setting up your soft floor and your hard floor intelligently or not. And you can actually look as well at trends as well and look at all the different bidders over time for this package as well, and who's won and what's trending and so forth. Now, from the buyer's perspective, what we've built is we have a product called Zest. Zest is a white labelable, skinnable product that's meant to be used by the media clients, the media owner's client, to buy from these marketplaces. So I can look, as the buyer now, and this is a self-serve. I've got a direct pipe into the media owner's inventory. So premium guaranteed marketplace. I can see, for example, all the different packages available to me. I can click on one, I can add it to my cart, I can target, I can say I'm interested in these markets, show me what's available, show me what the media owner has made available to me, not locations, but impressions. You're never disclosing the locations, you're disclosing an audience. And so you can actually go in and see, for example, this is what this one I just chose is Baltimore Digital. I can buy it directly from here. I can also do the same thing for deals as well. I can look at the deals available to me. I can add those to my shopping cart as well. And similarly, for the auctions, I can specify, I'm interested in DigiLights or something like that. It'll bring up, show me what auctions the media owner has been making available to me. None there, so let's just take that off. And then I can bid directly from here, and I can see what the bids are, and I can choose to have maximum bid of, let's say, $12 with bid enhancements of 3. So this is exactly how it works for Google DoubleClick Bid Manager. And we've basically taken that and applied it to digital out-of-home. So going back, watching time, I know lunch is next. So basically, what I've just shown you is a scenario where, remember I showed you what the New York Times example was like? But here, we've done it for digital out-of-home. You've got advertisers using a self-serve platform that's operated by the media owner. And they can log into the different marketplaces and buy directly from the media owner. If the media owner uses us as a supply-side platform, they get their own private ad exchange and their own private marketplaces. Now, this stuff is changing every day. In fact, just last week, AOL was bought by Verizon for $4.4 billion. Why? AOL is one of the leading companies in programmatic with their AOL1 platform. They own some of the highest ComScore websites like the Huffington Post and TechCrunch, and they sell so much of this via premium direct. And I just thought I'd give you a video.
Fundamentally, there were three things that we talked about this evening at the programmatic upfronts. The first of which is that AOL is making its premium reserved inventory available for programmatic booking. So what that means is you don't need to call an account rep anymore. You can log into Adler and Open Platform and go ahead and book reserved inventory at rate card prices with the same amount of ease and low friction that you could do with real-time bidded inventory. Takes out the paperwork, it puts creative control in your hand, it really reduces the amount of friction and time spent executing a reserve buy. Reserved inventory is inventory on a specific set of properties or placements that you commit to in advance for a certain number of impressions over a certain number of days. Unlike real-time bidded inventory, where there's no guarantee that at a specific price you'll win an impression, reserved inventory is guaranteed to be there for you. It's guaranteed by the publisher, and it still represents by far the lion's share of dollars transacted in the online ad business today. A lot more than RTB. The second thing we announced was Adler and Open Platform having access to private marketplaces. This is just Adler and Open Platform getting access to more premium inventory.
Make a long story short, I'm not the only one talking about private marketplaces and private exchanges. Billions of dollars are being transacted this way. People are tired of RTB and open exchanges and that awful stigma of remnant and glut inventory, and they're choosing to set up their own beautiful, shiny stores on the internet. In fact, last week, another announcement, Rubicon Project set up self-serve programmatic direct. They invested a ton of money and bought a company called Shiny Ads for several billions of dollars. This space is evolving, and programmatic direct is where the action is. And as I shared with you, we have Zest, which is our self-served white labelable product. We built an Outfront media app, which was launched last week at the OAAA in San Diego. It's not a programmatic direct buying app, but it's the beginning of it. You can actually go there and buy, and place orders into your shopping cart. And I thought I'd end just with this real quick.
The Outfront app, billboard and transit. Let's look at billboards. We can zoom in the map and filter by media and by sales market. Let's have a look at digital billboards in New York. The map shows locations with industry icons to describe media type and direction facing. The list view presents a scrollable view of the locations and lets us appreciate each one as if we're standing right there in front or out front of it. Photo sheets of your favorite billboards are always one tap away, and you can add them to your iBooks bookshelf for later use. Even better, you can add a location to a shopping cart, which we'll get to a little bit later. While picking one location at a time is cool, what if we'd like to select multiple locations on a map? We've added a lasso tool that lets you draw a region with your finger. You can zoom in, and then you can add locations inside the drawn region to your shopping cart. It's a lot of fun to use, and it's very useful. Let's now have a close look at transit. Transit products are a first-class citizen in the Outfront app. At a high level, you can discover what transit products are sold by each market. Let's have a look at transit products offered in New York. In this example, we're looking at Subway. Zooming in further takes us into Subway stations and routes. Tapping on a station shows us all the media products sold by that station, and selecting a product brings up its sales sheet. The shopping cart also works for transit media, and we can specify what type of coverage we're interested in, whether it be general, targeted, or domination. Let's have a close look at another transit type called rail. Zooming out, we can see all the rail stations in the market we're in, and we can view all the rail lines covered by trains that sell that media. We can look at the media products sold by each train station and get sales sheets for a given product. Now let's have a close look at buses. When you select buses, bus depots and bus routes appear. You can tap on a depot and browse media products offered by buses associated to that depot. It all comes together with a single shopping cart experience that includes both billboard locations and transit products. And of course, you can have Outfront contact you with more information on the items in your cart. The Outfront app by Ayuda.
Again, not programmatic direct, but you can see the beginnings of it. So I started with this has happened before, and this is what we want to do. We want to evolve from remnant to premium guaranteed. I'm going to close with 3 fun predictions for 2016. First prediction, one of the 3 major at-home vendors in the world will create and operate a private ad exchange with a premium direct marketplace in 2016. I should have put 2016, but in 2016. That's my first prediction. Second prediction, one of the most important and newest digital at-home networks in America will embrace programmatic as a first-class citizen and be completely data-driven via geotemporal ad serving from day one. And the third and final prediction is that one of the major 3 global specialists, a lot of you in the room, I predict that you will pilot programmatic direct, premium guaranteed purchase with selected media owners, essentially a pilot, and place a buy through a private marketplace in 2016. Thank you very much.